Hello and welcome to the Stamp Camp. I'm Glenda Calkins and it is Thursday night. That means it's One Sheet Wonder night. Tonight I have 11 gorgeous, did I say gorgeous? Cards to show you using the Flight and Airy Designer Series paper. Now this paper is free with a minimum $50 order and it ends today. So tonight after the video you are going to want to grab a pack, so make sure that you click on the link under the video where I have a list of supplies. Any and all orders do help, but with a minimum $50 order before shipping and tax you can choose this paper pack for free. So let's change the camera and get started. Okay, so this is the gorgeous, I'm running out of prints, Flight and Airy Designer Series paper. This is the print we're going to use tonight. It is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. We're going to be using this side right here. I've also brought in the Go-To Greetings. We're going to be using that. This is my favorite sentiment stamp set because it's got different fonts and different sizes for your typical sentiments that you use quite frequently, like happy birthday, thinking of you, thank you, just a note. So you have 3 different sizes and 3 different font sizes for that. I'm also going to be using the Stylish Shapes dies. And this is free. Tonight is the last night. With a minimum $100 order, you get this Softly Sophisticated bundle. Now this bundle is the stamp set, and then it has this embossing folder. I'm going to be using the embossing folder tonight. And then last but not least, we're going to also be using the Everyday Details dies, this circle die right there. So those are all the products. Let's get cutting. Bring in my trimmer. We're going to cut this at 5 1/4. Actually, first we're going to cut that at 4-inch, 4-inch, and then this should be 4 inches as well. Let me just see how. I think we got just a little smidgen. Now we're going to take each one of these and cut that at 5 1/4. So we're going to have 6 pieces. Now I told you we're going to have 11 cards. So each one of these 4-inch strips we're going to cut at 5 1/4. Five 1/4. The first 6 cards we make are going to be fun fold cards, and then the last 5 cards will be regular cards using up the scraps from the first 6. All right, so these 3 pieces here that we have left over, we're going to cut them in half. So a little bit bigger than 3/4 of an inch. Alright, so that's all our cutting of our Designer Series paper. So we've got all these little strips. We have 6 of these 3/4 inch by 4-inch strips. I'm going to set them aside. We have our 6 pieces that are 4 by 5 1/4. Our card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So let me go ahead and fold that in half. All right, so now we're going to take these 6 and we're going to take 6, 4, 5, 6 folded. This is the boho blue. And we're going to attach these to our card fronts. So far, pretty easy. All right, I am going to have to put my glasses on. See, where did they go? Not on the top of my head. Sometimes they're stuck on the top of my head. I believe I left them in the other room, so we're just gonna have to go without them. Hopefully I get everything on a little straight. This backside print is pretty as well, but I am going with the front. I suppose you could mix and match, but I am sticking to my plan here. So if this is the first time you've joined me on Thursday night is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is always one sheet wonder night. I will take a 12 by 12 or a 6 by 6, or I've even done 8.5 by 11, and create a variety of cards, or maybe it'll be 2 cards the same. There'll be a fun fold, just all different. It's whatever I can come up with that week. Now tonight's one sheet wonder came about from one card I made, and after I made it I thought, it could easily be a one sheet wonder. Okay, there we have our 6. Now we're going to take those Stylish Shapes dies, and I am going to do 2 circles, 2 squares, and 2 I'm going to make into a diamond. And then we're going to run them through the cut and emboss machine. Now I'm going to first attach them and then run them through, so you don't have to sit and watch me do each one separately. Once I got my machine out, we can just quickly run through them all. Now I'm going to center that towards the top, put my little tape in place because we're going to be doing a bunch. So this way they'll stay ready for me to run them through the cut and emboss. Now the beauty of this is, if you prefer the circles, you can do yours in all the circles. If you prefer the squares, you can do them all in squares. I'm just showing you all the different options that you have. This is Post-it tape, and it just kind of helps to keep these all in place. Hopefully I'm getting them on square and straight. The squares really are probably the only ones you're going to notice if it's a little bit crooked. Let's see, now that I mention that, it's like, that did look a little crooked. That one looks pretty good. Last but not least, we're going to take the smaller square and we're going to put it like diamond shape, like so. So, under the video, it will say show or more. You can click on that and you'll have the whole list of all the supplies that I used for these fun fold cards tonight. Again, this paper, tonight is the last night that you can get it for free with a minimum $50 order. So, keep that in mind because tomorrow it will be too late. Alright, so there's all our dies on. I'm going to bring in, whoa, about lost my cutter there. I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine. And then the plates. And then I'm gonna stand up because it'll be easier to wheel these through when I stand. I'm gonna place these on. Two more. Last one. All right, so we're done with this. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to remove these circles and all the other things. We're going to actually take these apart. Because we're going to use these on our second set of cards. The first set of cards, we're going to be doing 6 with these. And then I have 5 cards that I'm going to be using these cutout pieces for. Gotta gently take the tape off so we don't rip the printed paper. Normally, I have a lot of this prep work done, but it's a little hard to prep when you got to cut the paper first. Take these apart. So if you made this card and you were wondering what to do with these pieces that get left over after you make your fun fold card, I'm going to show you what I did with the pieces because they're gorgeous. You can't just throw them away, right? You got to use them up. Some of my adhesive maybe stuck along depending on how far in I went. Just kind of refolding my score lines there. Last one. Now, these stylish shapes dies, you're probably like, how did you get so many? I have 2 sets, so that's how I got so many. Otherwise, you would have to do 3 to a time, or if you wanted all squares or circles or the diamond shape, you would have to do them each individually, but I have 2 sets, so that's why I went with all the different shapes. It gives you lots of options. Okay, so these will be used on our second set. These we're going to need for this batch here. So now that we're going to need white, and this is going to be 5 by 8, 5 by 8, excuse me, 5 1/4 by 8, scored at 4 and at 6. So 5 1/4 by 8, scored at 4 and 6. And we're gonna do this little dooley-wop right like that. But it's actually gonna go on this side like this. Then you're going to take your card, put your adhesive on. We want this Z-fold to our left. We're going to attach this to the inside. Like so. Then we're going to take one of our triangles, fold this close, and we're going to glue only on this flat folded side. We're going to put that triangle or square on a triangle way inside and just fit that right back in there like so. Then I took the next square down, die cut it out, and then I embossed it, it's very hard to see, with that Softy Sophisticated Embossing Folder. That was the one that was in the bundle, free during celebration. So last chance to get that is tonight. It's a minimum $100 order. So we're going to place that in there. These will start coming together quick now. So we're going to put that in there like that. Then I've already went ahead and cut the birds out of the bird paper. But for this one, you need a kind of a small print or grouping of birds because it has to be able to open up yet. Let's see, where did all my little birds go? Maybe they're in here. So if you are watching a show and you want to do some hand cutting, it's a great time to hand cut those birds out. See, that's just a little bit too big. Let's see. And I got some of the, here we go. That might work. I got some of the bigger birds from the one paper. Maybe this one will fit. That's still a little tight. I might be able to get this one to work. That's gonna be good. And I'll show you why it has to stay within that perimeter. This is like a peekaboo card, I guess you would call it. We're going to put that right over there and there. And then when it opens up, it's like slides back in place, like so. So for the front on this, we're going to use the banner dies from the Stylish Shapes dies, and I've already stamped the happy birthday. That's from the Go-To Greetings, and that's boho blue ink. So we're going to take that, and we're just going to take a strip of that boho paper and run it down like that. Then we're going to take our dimensionals and pop that up. And that's going to go across the bottom here. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and kind of cut the ends like so. Does that look straight? And then I have the iridescent pearls. So we're going to take those and put those on our sentiment piece here. And then you could also put one, you could put a few if you wanted to on your flowers in the center, whatever you want to do. Just kind of like that. Now for the inside, that one's hooking just a little bit. I got some adhesive yet from when we cut them out. There, much better. Now for the inside we have those little strips, remember from the first part, which we can attach right here to the inside. I think I'm going to trim that down just a little bit because you got to be careful of your crease there. So I'm going to just hack a little bit off. Oops, I like it this way better. You could also hand cut some more of the birds from the side. Lots of choices, but that's how we're going to create these first 6 cards, just like that. And they'll go together pretty quickly. Now that I've shown you, I'm not going to refold and everything, because they're all done the exact same way. So you can rewind, fast forward. Close it up. Glue in. Put your square back in place. Take another one. Place it in the center. Okay, this was the bird I think I used. Yep. Put some dimensionals on the back. I have, I would say at least a handful of One Sheet Wonders out there with this gorgeous paper. It is my favorite celebration paper. There we go. I'm going to trim just a little hair off that because I know it's running a little long. Okay, for this one, I'm going to go with a wider sentiment using the Stylish Shapes die. And I went with a little bit bigger happy birthday from the Go-To Greetings. Remember I told you they have different font sizes. Then I die cut the smaller banner in the boho blue. I'm going to cut that in half. And then what I'm going to do is put adhesive on this back portion of it. And we're going to fan that out or attach it to the end so it looks like there was a skinny little banner that ran all the way across. Try to match up the length that it's sticking out. That looks good. Let me move that so it straightens out a little bit. Then we're going to put our dimensionals on the back. So just another way to use those banner dies. We'll put that across the bottom here. like so. Come in again with those beautiful iridescent pearls. And you can put more up here if you like, but that's how that one will go. Like so. Now we'll do the square. We're going to do it the same thing except for the square instead of the square on the diamond fold. Close it up. Again, you just put an adhesive on this left hand or right hand side. Fit your square back in. Now I have the next size down square die cut and then embossed with that Softly Sophisticated Embossing Folder. And then just a matter of, that's a little too big. That one will work. Pop that up. Just like that. Now for this sentiment, I did the small banner, the small font of Happy Birthday, and then matted it onto a bigger boho blue. We'll pop that up. Like that. And then we'll come in with the iridescent pearls. And again, you can add some to the top. I have my strip for the inside. I'm just going to trim that up a bit. That's square. One more square. Adhere my glue here. Close it up. Put my adhesive right here. Whoops, I went a little off on the edge. Put my square back in place. Put my white square in place. Let's see. Too big. I think one of this would probably work. Yep. Alright, we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. This paper has one whole sheet with these birds on a branches like this, and I used both of my sheets and hand cut all the little bird images. So you can do lots of cards with those birds cut out. All right. I'll put a few up here. I'll do the other ones later, but Do some on there. Put our little strip on the inside. That was my little over glue spot. So there we have that. And now we're to the circles. Same deal except for it's with the circles. So by using the square and the circle, you can put a little bit bigger bird image across because they're a little bit, you got a little bit more space. Circle in place. Now I did the same thing. I got my circle, die cut, and then I embossed it. And now let's see what we got. That one would fit. Put our dimensionals on there. Put our birds like so. Have our sentiment already done here, ready to roll. This time I did like I showed you before. I put the 2 blue underneath. Come in with our pearls. You can change up the sizes however you like. There's 3 different sizes, or 2 different sizes I should say, not 3. So there's the circle. When I get these all done, I'll show you the 3 options again. Last one, another circle. So I did 2 of each. I did 2 circles, 2 squares, and then 2 squares on the diagonal, or yeah, like a diamond fold. Put that, fold that closed. Put my circle back in place. Another circle. Place that right there. And then our final bird image. Okay, so I think these are all going to be a little bit big. When I say big, it goes over on this one will work. It goes over the blue, so it would hook because we've got to be able to open up our card, and if it was too big, it would be in the way of opening. So we're going to put our birds like that. And then I have my sentiment. This time I did the smaller banner die, the smaller happy birthday font, and then just put a piece of blue strip behind it. And now I'll just trim that. And then come in with those pearls again. Gotta have my bling. I gotta have my bling. Put a few on the flowers. And then I think I got, oh, I must have forgot to put my strip in the last card. Put my strip on the inside. I'm gonna just trim it up here a little bit. right, so there's your first 6 with this fun fold, peekaboo fun fold. So it's circles. Let me bring these in. So we got circles, the squares, and then the triangles. So they're all created the same way. So you decide if you like circles, squares, or on the diamond edge like that, and that you can create them all the same, or you can do them 2 of each design like I did. So now I'm going to show you 5 cards using these little pieces that we die cut from the first part. So we got 2 squares, 2 circles, and 2 if we put like that diamond shape. All right. So we'll start with these 2. We're going to create 1 card with that. The card base is going to be thick basic white, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. All right. Then I took that Softly Sophisticated Embossing Folder and embossed a piece of boho blue. We're going to stick that down. Put that on the front. We're going to take those 2 squares that we cut, and we're going to stick them on the front. My fingers are getting sticky. So like that. And then this one's going to go on this side. I'm going to just, oops, I'm going to move that one over just a little bit. Trying to get that all nice and straight. All right, then I'm going to take a smaller square and then a smaller square of that boho blue. And we're going to attach that. Now, if you want to see these cards up close on my blog tomorrow, they will be uploaded at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My blog is TheStampCamp.com. We're going to put that right up the center here, like so. Then we're going to find a little bird to fit. Now this one would work. It's a little bit long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut that right off. No one will ever notice. I trimmed it to make it the size I needed. Then I just have banner. I'm just going to do it plain boho blue on white. And I might tuck that under there just a little bit, like so. And then I'll come in with my pearls. Like that. So cute. And then maybe for the inside, I have some of these that were cut off the sides of the paper. I think he's cute. Just stick that on there on the inside. So you use just about everything with those papers. There's really not much waste because I use the edges. I guess the only waste would be around the outside image of the bird. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so that's using those two ones that we put on, that squares that we put on, like a diamond size or shape, I should say. And now we'll use the circles. And this is the circle from, let me get that again. It is the Everyday Details dies. You get this circle right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach these to the circles. That's cute too. I like that. That would be very pretty. I could go off script. I'll stick with my script, but you guys can play along when you get your paper and decide which way you want to do it. So the circles, the dotted outside will show just a hair, not much. It's just going to give me that ring of that blue showing. So let me get this straightened out on here. Now that would look kind of plain on there. So what I did was I took some white and I embossed it with that Softy Sophisticated Embossing Folder. I know it's very hard to see, but you can see it. I love that folder. I think it pairs so well with this bird paper. My card base was 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So you can see how we used that whole 12 by 12 sheet with no waste on this One Sheet Wonder. We're using all the die cut images that we die cut out. We did it all. Hold them down. They're kind of curled because of the embossing folder. All right, so then we're going to find our print, our bird print. I might have put these up just a little high. See if I can move them down a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to put some more adhesive on there. My tape runner's out of tape. And then my glue is gone out of glue. All right, so I'm going to move those down just a hair, I think. Because what we're going to do is we're kind of going to put them up in the corner here. Like almost like a swagged over. That's why I need it to be down a little bit. Now that looks good. I think I'll go with those. Yep. So I'm only going to put some dimensionals on this sticking up part, because some of this is going to be overlapping onto our circle there. I think my tape is out. So we're going to put him just like that. This way we still see our pretty print. We're not covering that up. looks like I can put a dimensional in this corner up here as well. Like so. And then I've already went ahead and created my birthday banners and put my dimensional on the back. So we're going to stick those down like that. And then we'll put our pearls on. Got one stuck to my finger. All right. One more on this one. If you wanted to, you could put a few up on the flowers as well. Kind of here or there. If you like to use lots of bling. This one needs some more glue right here. All right, so what do we got for my inside? Got some little, I gotta grab my white. So I could put him in the bottom corner. That's pretty. That really pretty, and that's just from the side, no waste. I love this paper pack. So pretty. Can you see that? Like I said, tomorrow if you go to my blog, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will have the cards there so you can see them up close and personal. Gorgeous. Okay, so now we got our squares, which we're going to put the same white embossed on the fronts. Then I have a couple of boho squares that we're going to attach our die cut squares onto. So we'll do that to both of these. Alright, and we'll put those on the front. Where's my rag? My hands are getting so sticky. From all the glue. All right. I'm going to do right along the outside edge. Make sure I get it covered good. Okay, this is going to go to the top. Make sure that that looks straight. And this one. Hold those in place. I'll attach my banner sentiment pieces. This time I did a bigger in the boho, and then I did a smaller in the white and matted those. That's pretty good. 11 cards from one 12 by 12 sheet. All right. Does that look straight? Now, this time, instead of the little birds, I'm going to take these little fat big birds from another sheet that's in the pack. And we're going to put him just in the corner. I kind of like that color. And since they're going in different directions, I kind of like that. Or I could do, he looks cute too. I think I'll do those two. We're just going to put him right down here in the corner. Same with this little guy. And then we'll come in with our bling. And there you have it. 11 fun cards with that gorgeous Flight and Airy free Sale-a-bration designer series paper. Now, tonight is the last night to get this free paper pack. That is, if it's still available. It was while supplies last. I hope it's still up and available. But you'll find the list of all the supplies that I used for tonight. Under the video, it will say show more or more, and I'll have the link for all the supplies that I use, so you can place a minimum $50 order and get that paper pack for free, so you can create your lovely 11 bird cards. So these were just the leftovers from the first 6 fun fold cards. So I think pretty nice cards for leftovers. So those are the last 5, and then the first 6 were this fun fold peekaboo card. 2 of each of the 3 different shapes. There you go. That is a pile. So that is it for tonight. Again, if you need that lovely paper, you have until midnight or 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time tonight to place your minimum $50 order before shipping and tax and grab that paper pack for free, or any of the other Sale-a-bration items that are still available, like that gorgeous Softly Sophisticated bundle. You get that die that I use, or the embossing folder that I used tonight, and then the stamp set. This is a $100 order. So with $150 before shipping and tax, you can choose this and this paper. Perfect. Perfect pairing. So that is it for tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching. That is it for tonight. Thanks for stopping by.